Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves for a journey into the shadows, where two titans of terror stand face to face. This is not just a tale of vampires, it is a clash of legends, a battle of myths, a collision of two forces that have haunted our nightmares for centuries. On one side, the aristocratic, seductive, and calculating Dracula. On the other, the grotesque, primal, and otherworldly Nosferatu. Both are creatures of the night, yet they could not be more different. Tonight, we delve into the mysteries that bind them, the secrets that divide them, and the chilling truths that make them eternal rivals in the pantheon of horror. This is not just a story of blood and fangs. This is a story of fire meeting fire. The origins, a brief spark. To understand the clash, we must first glimpse the sparks that ignited these legends. Dracula, the name that echoes through history, was born not in Transylvania, but in the pages of Bram Stoker's 1897 novel. Inspired loosely by the infamous Vlad the Impaler, Dracula became the archetype of the aristocratic vampire, a creature of charm, intelligence, and ruthless ambition. He is the predator who walks among us, cloaked in elegance, hiding his monstrous nature behind a mask of sophistication. Nosferatu, on the other hand, emerged from the silent shadows of German expressionist cinema in 1922. A blatant, yet unauthorized, adaptation of Stoker's novel, Nosferatu gave us Count Orlok, a creature so far removed from Dracula's charm that he feels almost alien. Orlok is not a seducer, he is a plague. His very presence brings death, his appearance is a nightmare made flesh, and his existence feels like a violation of nature itself. But here's where the intrigue begins. These two figures, born from the same source, took on lives of their own. They became more than characters, they became symbols. And in their differences, we find the heart of their eternal rivalry. The matchup, aristocrat versus abomination. Let us begin with their most striking contrast, their appearance. Dracula is the vampire as a dark aristocrat. He is tall, commanding, and unnervingly human. His charm is his weapon, his elegance his disguise. He is the predator who invites you into his parlor, offering you a glass of wine as he plots your demise. Nosferatu, however, is the vampire as a monster. Count Orlok is hunched, grotesque, with elongated fingers, rodent-like features, and eyes that seem to pierce your soul. There is no charm here, no seduction. Orlok is a force of nature, a walking embodiment of decay and pestilence. He does not invite you in, he invades. This is the first great divide between them. Dracula is the vampire as a reflection of humanity's darkest desires, while Nosferatu is the vampire as a primal, uncontrollable force. One is a mirror, the other is a shadow. The power, seduction versus terror. Their methods are as different as their appearances. Dracula is a master manipulator. He preys on the mind as much as the body, using his charisma to ensnare his victims. He is a creature of psychology, exploiting fear, desire, and vulnerability. His power lies in his ability to blend in, to manipulate, to control. Nosferatu, however, does not manipulate, he terrifies. His power is raw and unfiltered. He brings with him an aura of dread, a sense of inevitable doom. His presence is a curse, his touch is death. Where Dracula operates in the shadows of society, Nosferatu is the shadow itself, a creeping, unstoppable force that consumes everything in its path. Here, we see another layer of their rivalry. Dracula represents the fear of the unknown within us, while Nosferatu represents the fear of the unknown outside us. One is a psychological predator, the other is a force of nature. Their legacy, influence and imitation. But their rivalry does not end with their differences. In many ways, they are bound together by their influence on each other and on the world of horror. Nosferatu, though born from Dracula, became a cultural force in its own right. Its unauthorized creation led to a lawsuit that nearly destroyed every copy of the film, adding an air of mystery and forbidden knowledge to its legacy. The film's survival feels almost supernatural, as if Count Orlok himself refused to be erased. Dracula, meanwhile, has endured as the definitive vampire, inspiring countless adaptations and interpretations. Yet, in many of these adaptations, we see traces of Nosferatu's influence. The idea of the vampire as a bringer of plague, as a creature of pure horror, can be traced back to Orlok. Even Dracula's more monstrous portrayals owe a debt to the grotesque Count. This is the irony of their rivalry: they are forever intertwined, each shaping the other's legacy in ways that are both subtle and profound. The mysteries, shadows within shadows. Now, let us delve into the mysteries that surround these two figures, the eerie coincidences and chilling details that make their stories even more compelling. Did you know that the actor who played Count Orlok, Max Schreck, was so convincing in his role that rumors spread he might actually be a vampire? His name, fittingly, means fright in German, adding an extra layer of macabre irony to his performance. And what of Dracula's enduring appeal? Some scholars suggest that his charm and sophistication tap into a deep, almost primal fascination with power and immortality. He is not just a monster, he is a dark reflection of our own desires, a reminder of the seductive allure of the forbidden. But perhaps the most shocking detail is this: both Dracula and Nosferatu are rooted in a fear that transcends time and culture. They are manifestations of our deepest anxieties, of death, of the unknown, of the things that lurk in the dark. In this sense, they are not just rivals, they are two sides of the same coin, each representing a different facet of the same primal fear. Eternal rivals. As we reach the end of our journey, one thing becomes clear: the rivalry between Dracula and Nosferatu is not just a clash of characters, it is a clash of ideas. Dracula, the aristocratic seducer, and Nosferatu, the primal abomination, represent two sides of the same dark coin. They are fire meeting fire, each burning with a brilliance that has illuminated the shadows of our imagination for over a century. And so, we are left with a question: which is more terrifying? The monster who hides in plain sight, or the monster who cannot be hidden? The predator who seduces, or the predator who consumes? The answer, perhaps, lies in the shadows, where Dracula and Nosferatu continue their eternal dance, forever locked in a battle that will never end. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of darkness. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content. Until next time.